Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
Nothing is more stunning than a red cardinal against a white snow background. We'll discuss the best way to attract cardinals to your home during our first segment.
Garden Gate magazine is one of our favorite gardening publications. Recently, they published a list of the best new trees and shrubs. Hear all about it during our second segment.
Now that the temperatures are becoming more winter-like and the fruit trees are dormant, it's time to prune them. We'll tell you how and why in our third segment.
Looking for a fun winter family project? Well, make seed bombs. We'll explain more in our fourth segment.
Sorry, I'm still laughing. You know the song, She Dropped the Bomb on Me?
Oh, I remember that.
Sam, if you can pull that up for that segment, that'd be great.
It would be.
Rick James?
Yeah,
No,
right.
the Cat Band.
The Cat Band?
The Cat Band.
The Cat
Yeah.
Band.
You dropped the bomb on me. Come on, man. Y'all are funny. What a way to open the show.
Right? Well, listen, during the winter, houseplants are just like, they're not sure what to do. You know, that the air is dry and that they just need a little bit of help. If your houseplants are looking a little shabby, listen to our tips in our final segment.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back in the garden right after these messages. Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome's Triple Action contains 70% neem oil and 0.25% pyrethrins as a concentrate and ready to spray. It is an insecticide, fungicide, and miticide labeled to use on vegetables, fruits, nuts, herbs, spices, and ornamentals. This organic OMRI-listed product controls a wide variety of insect pests and diseases, including aphids, scale, spider mites, whiteflies, rust, leaf spot, and powdery mildew. This insecticide is an all-in-one bottle that will cure just about any problem you may run into throughout the year. Fertilome's Triple Action has been helping gardeners across the country for years. Best to apply in late evening and early morning hours. Mix 1 ounce, which is equivalent to 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water. The best part is Triple Action may be used up to the day of harvest. So the next time you are visiting your favorite garden center, ask for Fertilome's Triple Action and expect to have the best looking plants in the neighborhood.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or see and hear us by subscribing to Bloomers YouTube channel. Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley every Saturday. First, wake up with us at 6 a.m. on WMTR The Word at 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. Tune in at 8 a.m. to Bloomers in the Garden Radio on Talk 860 WWDB. A rebroadcast of Bloomers in the Garden Radio is played each Saturday evening at 5 p.m. on The Word, 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard throughout the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. You know, for many winter bird watchers, there are few sights more rewarding than a brilliant flash of red against a field of white snow, a sure sign that cardinals are paying a visit to your winter feeder. Yes. So, do you have your feeders up?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I know I got to go.
Not yet.
No.
What was the temperature? 20 degrees today?
Yeah. No, last 14 when I got up.
Well, the birds are starving.
Yeah. Ours hasn't come down. We cleaned it. We cleaned it and put it back up.
I'll get mine up today.
The Cardinals are actually, like we noticed this morning outside our window, they're hiding in our gutters.
No.
Yeah,
gutters?
they're hiding and like on the edge of our gutters, and then they'll fly out
And jump
and
in.
jump in.
No kidding.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's something.
Good shelter, I guess.
Those of you that don't have cardinals, they don't go right on your feeder. They don't like fly in, land on your feeder. They kind of hop from, like Aaron just said. I didn't realize it was from your gutters, but it like if you have like a little landscape around or near your feeder, that they'll kind of hide in there and then jump onto your feeder. They're like I have two different feeders. I have a brome feeder, which has something that's called a cardinal ring. That it's the type of perch a cardinal needs. There are some feeders, like for instance, a tube feeder. You won't get many cardinals on a tube feeder just simply because they don't like to. They don't like to perch that way. So something to think about. So again, if they again hide in the brush and then ambush the feeder.
Boom.
And then, I mean, I have a lot of cardinals.
You do?
I have a lot of cardinals. Wow. Oh, yeah. And it's all about what you're feeding them and what your feeder is like. Often you read about platform feeders. I personally do not like platform feeders because it's kind of like opens the door to everything from squirrels to pigeons and to some of the not so good birds. And that but cardinals do feed better on those than they would, a tube feeder. So just keep that in mind. And also feeding them. Are you still feeding them, Aaron, the sunflower? So it's sunflower meats with safflower.
Safflower, yep. Both of them.
Yeah. Now in studio we have shelled sunflower and safflower. Safflower is great because the squirrels think it's bitter, and that why people often ask, well, how come how's the hot going to allow the birds to eat when you have like a hot mix, or like for instance the hot meats that we sell is mixed with capsaicin pepper, and that will stop the squirrels, but it won't stop the birds. And the whole reason behind that is squirrels have saliva glands. And so they're going to taste that hot, and they're going to say, oh, man, I didn't realize it's coming to a Mexican restaurant. And that where they go somewhere else to feed, they avoid your feeder. Where the birds have a crop, and they don't feel that heat. So something to think about. So if you have a problem with squirrels,
give them that salsa picante.
You need to use that, and also don't use it once and think you're done.
Right.
You are modifying a wild animal's behavior, and the only way you do that is through repetition.
Correct.
So just saying. If you want to see cardinals, make sure you're looking at your feeders in the morning or at twilight, just before dark. They're some of the first to go and eat on your feeder and the last in the day to eat. They love sunflower seeds. And that whether it's the hulled black oil sunflower or the meats of sunflower. I personally like the meats because it attracts all types of songbirds, as well as cardinals. And my favorite bird. What's your favorite bird, Julio?
I like the titmice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
They are. They're cool. They're little, right? They got a little pointy snout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them too.
They're cute.
I like them too. Black-capped chickadee for me is my favorite. It's the polite bird.
Yeah.
Polite bird. It kind of like stands off for a little bit and waits for all of the stupid sparrows to get off the feeder. Then it jumps on, takes one seed, flies away, and says, "Thank you. I'm going to just eat this one. Thank you very much." It's like, oh, you know what? Can I have another? And then it jumps back on the feeder, takes the seed, jumps onto another tree or something else, eats it there, and then comes back and says, I think I want one more. And so one seed takes it back, as opposed to sparrows that are just like chomping down, like pecking at their brothers next to them. Get out of here. This is my spot. But Sparrows, they're not bad. They're not bad.
They're okay.
House finches, I like.
Okay.
You know, they get some. They have some color to them.
Man, my Blue Jays get no love.
Blue
Blue
Jays are
they're like
nasty.
They're aggressive.
Hey, man,
No, Blue
you
Jays.
gotta know your territory.
Well, they are. And
They are pretty
and
good.
Blue Jays, if you want Blue Jays, feed peanuts.
Peanuts, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a hint from Shirley,
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
who is now retired. Shirley,
We love you,
quarterback.
Shirley.
We do, Shirley.
Hey.
Yeah, that again, Cardinals, sunflower seed, safflower seed, buckwheat. I don't know about that. I would probably have a debate with somebody about buckwheat. It's like, why even put buckwheat in when you can just give them safflower? And a combination of safflower and hold. Okay, so that means the meats of the sunflower are the ideal.
Best.
And for those of you that are saying, "Oh, but that's expensive," it's like, well, hold on. When you take all the seed and shells away, and you put a palm full of seed in there, and you compare it to what a palm full of the whole sunflower seed or the sunflower meats, you've got a whole lot more you're feeding to your birds when it's already pre-shelled. So look for those varieties that are patio mixes. Fine Tunes is a good one from Lyric. I like that very much. And that it gives a wider range, and it doesn't leave a mess. So, safflower, just saying, does leave a shell. And that there is the white safflower. I mean, it's pretty noticeable.
Yeah.
But
And mine, it's all on the ground
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
well, it's a good thing we've had some snow. Finally, we broke the record. The record is broken.
2 years, right?
Yeah.
Not a considerable
2
amount of
years.
snow.
Baltimore, New York, and Philadelphia. All the record is ended. So, but where the safflower, there's also golden safflower. I used to think it was the greatest thing since sliced bread,
Oh, yeah?
but I don't think the birds eat it as readily as the white safflower. So, just saying. Give us a call on the hotline, 609-685-1880. Let us know what your experience is with the golden safflower. Fan or not fan?
Can I add something?
Sure.
Did you know that Cardinals were monogamous?
Yes.
Pretty
Yes.
awesome, huh?
I think that is awesome.
Yeah.
So you know, when you see the male and female Cardinals, it's like that's a
Nice
family.
couple. Yeah, it's a nice
It's like,
little couple.
look at the nice couple.
Yeah, really.
I think that's great.
Yeah, it is cool. Huh?
I love that. And that as Cardinals, what's interesting is that they don't build their nests like high in the tree.
No.
It's like 8 foot off the ground in shrubs, usually where there's some type of protection, so like a thicket row or something like that, where they're concealing. They want to hide. They can be only like 4 feet off the ground.
That's it.
So, and again, that's kind of the same thing where they go from that kind of area to the feeder. So they just want to hide a little bit.
Yeah, I've got a couple nests inside my
Oh, you did?
evergreens.
Oh, yeah?
On that align my driveway, and I hear them when I get out of the car at night. I hear them making all types of noises and stuff. Some of them will even fly out. I guess they think I'm threatening.
They might. I think you're filling the feeder.
Yeah,
Like
right,
Julio, they
right.
keep waiting. They're going to start pecking Julio. It's like, come on.
Good thing I have a holly tree.
Yeah, I've got some ideas. When it comes to the nesting period, cardinals will nest. Usually, it's early spring, late winter to start, and that they'll go into summer. Give them some help because they need to build their nest, and they're looking for things to insulate their nest as well, like straw, dryer lint. Dryer lint that they'll pick. Birds will pick that up. Pet hair. Like if you go and you have a dog or that you groom, the pet hair that they'll pick that up. And even they'll find weeds on their own and pine needles. But again, some of that stuff that like I can't think of a better insulator than dryer lint.
Yeah, that's great.
You know,
Yeah.
so again, it's you may not see the nest because they're trying to hide, but again, it's just something you can do. And just one other thing: make sure you're giving them water. Water is essential. It's cold; it's going to freeze. There's a cheap, inexpensive bird bath heater that you can get. Now, just because you have the bird bath heater, every once in a while, try to empty that bird bath out and clean it up a little bit so that you're not getting any debris or because you're spreading any diseases from one bird to another, because you just need to clean that out and put fresh water in. Other than that, you'll have cardinals if you follow that instruction. Again, sunflower and safflower, give them some water. When they start nesting time, usually, again, we're talking about early spring, you put some dryer lint out there. Talk about recycling. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Are you looking forward to a spring of vibrancy while using the best organically approved growing media for your annuals and vegetables? Coast of Maine's Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter has been created to set a diverse culture ideal for germinating seeds and root cuttings. Created using the best ancient composting techniques and new age mixing devices, Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter gently combines kelp meal, worm castings, mycorrhiza, perlite, and sustainably harvested peat moss, establishing the most desirable setting to enhance new plant growth. Coast of Maine's Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter is available at these local retailers, or visit www.coastofmaine.com to locate one near you. Sickles Market, Little River, New Jersey. Espen Shades Garden Centers and Greenhouse, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. Pickering Valley Feed and Farm, Exton, Pennsylvania.
Wanting to up your game in the vegetable garden? With 90 years of organic gardening experience, the Espoma Company has you covered. Espoma Organic Garden Tone is not your average garden variety fertilizer. Garden Tone is especially blended for organic vegetable gardens. Its all-natural formula contains Biotone, a blend of organic ingredients that supplies essential nutrients for strong, healthy plants and mouth-watering vegetables. Its slow-release formula provides continuous feeding. The Biotone contained in Garden Tone is a combination of organic ingredients and beneficial microbes to help roots grow deeper and faster for bigger, more bountiful harvests. Garden Tone is simple to use and safe for people, pets, and the planet. No harmful chemicals or synthetic fertilizers are ever added. You can find Garden Tone at fine garden centers. Visit espoma.com to find a retailer near you. Garden Tone from Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. If you're looking for something new to add to your landscape, here are some real winners as recommended by Garden Gate magazine.
Yes, sir.
One of our favorites.
And we edited our own choices because there were a couple in there that were, I don't know. But here we are again, the Eclipse hydrangea. That's the one with the dark, it's not magenta, it's dark burgundy. Leaves on a hydrangea with a pink flower. Very cool plant. And that it is everywhere. And when I say that, I don't mean everywhere available. I mean it's everywhere in all of the different garden publications. It's from the hybridizers. It's an amazing plant. And it just is going to be different. It's, the foliage is almost black. And on a regular macrophylla hydrangea, and that's like people, you think snowball bush, or, if you think of a big mop type hydrangeas, and that the flowers are more of like a raspberry pink, and when they first open, they're a little bit on the whiter side, and then as they color up, they will color up to that raspberry pink. So they have the background of the almost black foliage with this up in front. Very, very, very cool. While we were at the Mant show a couple weeks ago, we talked to the people from Encore Azaleas, and they have a new one that's called Autumn Moonstruck. It's a white flower, okay, and it will bloom in spring, and then again summer and fall. But the deep green leaves and chartreuse variegation is what's really show-stopping.
Really nice.
So it gives you something else to look at. When you hear repeat blooming azaleas, they're not always in bloom, but they repeat bloom. So you'll have a cycle, a bloom cycle, and then it'll go through a little rest. Then it'll have another bloom cycle, and then it'll go through a little rest, and then you have another bloom cycle. So hopefully you get 3 cycles, one in the early spring, and nothing's better than that first bloom.
First flush, yeah.
And that goes for any of the repeat blooming azaleas. But this is the Encore series, Autumn Moonstruck, and it's a white. So the flowers are probably about 2.5 inches across, pure white flowers, very, very pretty, but it's the foliage where you get a variegation in that foliage, which makes it a showstopper.
Really nice, yeah. Cool.
What's the next one, Julio?
Symphony Pink Snowberry.
I like snowberries.
Yeah. You like snowberries?
Yeah,
awesome.
and it's the regular snowberries are a native. But this one is a nativar, if you will.
We'd like those too,
That's right. Did you see the berries? I mean, the berries, and that's what it's all about. It's not everything gets a flower, but it's all about the berries. Yeah. Usually the berries are I don't know. Not the colors can be washed out, but this is incredible. The deep pink, beautiful. I love that plant, and that people should plant more berry plants. We just did a segment on birds. Birds looking for berry plants. My son Carl planted some things to create a screen from my neighbors. My neighbor has a hot tub now. In a 55 and older community.
Now that you have your
Say
deck
no
out
more.
there, right? Your new deck. Now that you have your new deck.
I'm afraid Julio's going to be in that thing one time. Anyway, I'm trying to screen that. Nobody needs to see that. Anyway, so in any case, that then a new plant, Hearts of Fire Redbud. Look, I'm tired of the redbuds. And the problem is that there's all these different unique foliage-colored redbuds, and they look amazing. We can't get availability of them. The growers aren't growing enough of them, and it's frustrating. I mean, Carl comes to me, it's like, they canceled them. They canceled them again.
Oh, no.
They canceled them again. And it's all these new, and here comes another one, another new one called Hearts of Fire.
Hearts of Fire, that looks pretty awesome.
And what it has is it is a progressive color from green on the inside and then the new growth goes from yellow to like a burning red.
That's a pretty neat gradient.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And it comes out. It looks like Chinese lantern. Chinese lanterns are those things that they look like almost like a berry that hangs from them. That same color. Does the
whole tree turn, or is that what it just?
That's the new growth.
Oh.
So the new growth shoots out, and the new growth is that color.
Okay.
So it'll get that. So usually trees go through two growth spurts, one in the spring, and then it goes through that secondary spurt in the summer. So you'll see that contrast against green foliage. It's not a purple foliage, but
it almost reminds me of like when we go into fall. how
Yes.
the bright, the brightness of the leaves change.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly. So, again, it goes from it's very, very pretty, and that the leaves actually they emerge burgundy, of red and tangerine and gold, but they mature to that green by summer. So they'll come out like red, but they turn to green, like a lot of trees do, like a lot of trees. A lot of new plants that are out there. Again, Flowerwood Nursery has got some new things going on. Again, that's where that Encore azalea was from. I'll tell you, keep your eye out.
Right.
A lot of new things. And breeding is not just trying to find the pretty new plant. Breeding is trying to make plants better. More resistant to insects, more resistant to disease. The whole native movement, sure, I get it. It's your thing. Whatever. Vegan. Give me a good steak and a new cultivar. Said you hate me on Julio Zamora.
Gosh.
Bloomers in the Garden.
I can hear it now.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be back right after this. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA.
Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with the #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
If you're like me, then you absolutely love birds. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center has you covered. They're dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds of all sorts. Want to bring more birds to your yard? Then you got to see this place. Bloomers has a huge flock of feeders, birdhouses, birdseed, and much, much more. Want to feed the birds and not the squirrels? They have this absolutely cool bronze bird feeder that will drive those sneaky squirrels nuts. They'll be moving to the next door neighbor in no time. OMG. Bloomers have these absolutely adorable birdhouses that will turn your yard into the perfect bird B&B. They carry all types of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. Bloomer stocks Lyric, Coles, CNS, Pine Tree Farms, and much, much more that will keep those beautiful birds coming back for more. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County. For more information and directions, check them out on the web at bloomers.com. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, you got to see this place.
What a kid. What a kid.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. Hey, do you want more productive fruit trees? And if you're disappointed with your yield, it's pruning time. You want to do winter pruning. Winter pruning is essential. It is a time where the trees are dormant. And so for pathogens like diseases and things that get into different fruit trees, those are dormant as well. So you'll have healthier trees if you do your pruning now. Julio, what do you know about winter pruning?
Well, you got to be in a regimen or a habit of doing things at a certain time and continually. Because
it's a
you can't
biblical
stop.
principle, right? Time
It
to
is.
reap, time to sow.
That's correct.
Time to winter prune.
To prune.
I didn't see that chapter and verse, but
okay.
it's in there. So.
Yeah.
But winter pruning is essential. I
It
mean,
is.
so if I have a fruit tree, right? Is it all like for instance, I know apples, I know pears, peaches, plums, nectarines. I'm not quite sure about peaches, but they would be, or not peaches, but cherries. Cherries, I think so.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're going to do basic pruning. It's not going to be something where you're, going to get out the chainsaw. You're going to cut out like broken branches, like where things have wind is blowing. Boy, we had some wind.
Oh,
I'll tell you what, January was more like March, blowing in. I mean, my house was creaking. Anyway, so if the branches are like 2 inches in diameter or smaller, you just let that cut heal. You don't want to go and try to use pruning seal. I'm not a big fan of pruning seal. Grafting wax to protect a cut, yes, but not pruning seal. You want to remove rubbing branches, and this is for a thing for roses too.
Yeah.
If the wind blows and they're rubbing, they're exposing that bark, and that will allow disease to enter that tree. So if you're looking at branches that are crossing, you've got to make a choice. Get rid of one of them. Get rid of one of them. You're opening it up too, so it has more air movement inside of it. Any branches that are growing inward, like where say a branch is making a right turn towards the trunk, you want to get rid of that. And it just, again, you're trying to get rid of bacteria, get rid of viruses from the tree. Branches that are horizontal or growing down, that are so pitched down, okay? And those of you that have weeping cherries, you do not have to do this, okay? You want that. But on fruiting trees, you want to take those and get that off, because the weight of the fruit that comes on them, it's going to end up being towards the ground. So you don't want those there. And again, you're going to do a trim on the branches that are the older branches, and if you see suckers or what they call water sprouts, it's like where a just straight up branch will grow from the center or the crotch of a branching structure. Do you ever do fruit trees, Julio?
I did have it, but
that means in the past.
In the past,
What does that mean?
It means they're gone.
Why?
Because I had no time to do all this. I was at the garden center, remember?
Yeah, that is a problem. We do have shoemaker syndrome for sure.
That's right.
But even one or two fruit trees, and there's so many dwarf fruit trees that are out there now that you don't have to wait. If you want to try this, and this is one of the trends that were identified, that growing fruit trees, growing grapes, growing vegetables is a definite trend on the rise. And again, don't be afraid to prune it, okay?
Don't
fear the shears. Don't fear the shears. It's important to do this each year because it makes the tree actually more vigorous, especially in older trees. If you've got an older fruit tree that you haven't touched in years, go get it. It's again, you're going to prune it back to, you can see where there are buds on it. The buds aren't swelling yet. The buds aren't really swelling yet, but they will. And this is something you want to do when the tree is dormant. If the tree starts breaking dormancy, that brings a whole nother type of pruning and a whole nother care, because you're going to have to start a spray program when your buds swell. Again, it's an ancient art to grow fruit trees and do winter pruning. Most people ignore it though.
Oh, they do.
But it's essential to have a good yield and a good crop. So get out there. You're probably good from now until, the first week in March. Just got to watch the buds and you got to watch the weather. But the trees are dormant now, in that where everything is slowed down. You're not going to cause them to be weeping. You're not going to cause any disease issues because they're also dormant. So it's the best time to do it.
Yeah, I usually tell people to go to Penn State Extension. They have a great place there where you can see every month what you have to do, spray-wise, pruning-wise.
Yep. And again, your local garden center can help you with this. Go in and talk to your local garden center, and that they'll help you understand what to prune, how to prune. But again, winter pruning is something that's easy. There's pretty much nothing you could do wrong. It's just knowing what needs to be pruned out. Mm-hmm. So
basics, huh, Len?
That's it. All right, we'll be back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant, paired with the perfect container, can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. Baby.
Well, this is Bloomers in the Garden Radio here. Wildflower seed bombs, yes, folks, you heard it here, have been around since guerrilla gardeners started throwing them into vacant city lots in the 1990s. Right. We're going back a ways.
And actually before that. Before that. It was an ancient gardening technique from Japan. And ancient. So okay, what are we talking about? So what's a seed bomb? Yeah. Julio, we brought some seeds with us, right?
Yeah, we did.
So mostly a collection of, it could be wildflower seeds, certainly. That's probably most common. But there's also, you could do vegetable seeds. You could do all kinds of things. And what you do is you need to get some clay. And you actually, real clay, like I guess it's not red clay. where you pick it up like in a hobby shop like Hobby Lobby or something, or at your hardware store. And that red clay is the base, and it's where you get the consistency, so it's like putty, and it kind of nests that seed, and you can do any seed you want. Like you talk about vacant lots. If you did like, say, pumpkins, I mean, that would be pretty awesome. All of a sudden, you've got pumpkins growing. Okay, and so what happens is that the red clay is what holds everything together, but you're going to use potting soil in there along with the seed so that it creates this nest that will sprout and grow once the warmer weather and the wetter weather occurs. Can't go putting them out and start throwing these seed bombs around now, because what'll happen is that the seed won't necessarily germinate at the right time, and you miss the opportunity for it to grow out of that bomb. So what does this look like? It looks like, I don't know, what would you say? I know what it looks like. Anybody have horses?
Yeah, is that what it is?
I mean, it does. And they're small. They're probably about 1.5 inches round.
Oh, it's not big.
And it's just you form them, and these things are formed. And at the heart of them is where you put the seed. And I mean, it would be great to do with kids.
Yeah, it would be.
And because you could do this, and so you guys make them now, and you can hold them. They'll store. They're not going to germinate out of that that blend that you're putting in, because it's still going to be dry, and that you put them, and you basically areas where you have areas of your yard, for instance, that are a maintenance problem, and that that it's dry, and that there are issues with it, and grass never grows, that you get the soil you try to get down to the soil, but you go ahead and just throw these things in there, and literally it's like a bomb, and that all of a sudden you reclaim. Now you talk about native people that are natives, that love natives.
Yeah.
This would be something that people who are into natives could do, and to actually repopulate native varieties of species in different areas. So where there's competition from some of the invasive species of plants, maybe reclaim some areas. You get these seed bombs together and just launch them in spring, and then they'll start to grow. It's a fun project, because the kids get dirty, and they actually see their seeds, and that they learn about how seeds grow. And I think it's an important lesson. If I was going to do it, I still go back to pumpkins or gourds or something like that, where they grow fast. If you throw them and you start these things sometime in the end of May, where you launch one of these bombs into an open area, it's the best time, because the timing will be right to harvest. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do this with your vegetable garden. You don't necessarily bomb it and launch it, but you actually plant it so that there's a spot to grow the seed. So you're planting it as if it were a seed, but it gets a start because there's the potting soil there. And when the water breaks down the clay and gets into it, and then the seed coat has a spot for it to live. Now, all seed, whether it's grass seed, whether it's, grass seed, every seed has what's called a seed coat. And that seed coat needs to break down, and it's usually with heat and water, and that before the seed can sprout. This is like putting a seed coat on top of a seed coat.
Yeah, it is.
And to me, it just sounds fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
What can I bomb your house with, Julio?
Yeah, really.
I went past.
Oh, yeah.
I picked you up the other day. You've got one side, you've got stuff. The other side, you don't.
Nothing. Yeah.
What's up with that?
I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
Yeah.
I'm going to seed bomb your front yard with wildflowers.
Yeah, I know you will. You're probably making them now, aren't you?
No, I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
You're going to patent these or what?
You know what these look like?
What?
Dunkin' Munchkins.
Yeah,
They're about the size of a Munchkin.
Yeah, they
Maybe
do.
it's just because I'm hungry, but they are about that
right.
size. So
They are
that's
about
what
that
you
size.
meant. You can look. You do a search for seed bombs on the web, and you will find different places to and with instructions on how to do it. But it's what you put in the mix. I'd go to your local garden center and I would ask them, it's like, hey, do you have any expired seed packs?
Yes, that's right.
Every seed has an expiration date on it. And so what you have to do is you have to turn in the seed packs or you can no longer sell them legally. So what happens is that we end up with seed packs. And a lot of times we'll give them away. And this would be something that you could do. A school could do this.
School, yeah.
This would be great for a school. There's plenty of areas in schools that were, around the areas. And we did, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how the green environment changes attitudes of students. It would be a great project. It's because it's really, really hands-on. And it's not something that, like you just put a seed in and you have to sit there and wait for it. You have these things that are like, grenades.
Grenades.
It's like, I don't know. I see boys liking this maybe more than girls, but again, the whole idea of, a seed bomb.
Yeah, really.
But again, give it some thought. Think about it. But it'd be a fun project to do with your kids, to do with your students.
Yeah, with Len.
To do with me. Hey, I'm ready.
He's ready to go.
Anyway, we'll be back in the garden right after this. Some of our most frequent questions revolve around organic container gardening for houseplants, annuals, and of course, vegetables. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend Organic Potting Soil is a lightweight soil mixture made with salmon, blueberry, lobster, and other composts, as well as calcium and chitin-rich lobster shells, sphagnum peat, perlite, and kelp meal. It is a great soil. And Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Organic Potting Soil is rich in organic material, creating lush, disease-resistant plants that require less watering, less feeding. Its rich, dark brown color provides the perfect balance between water retention and drainage needed for healthy plants. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend Organic Potting Soil is available at these local retailers.
Pickering Valley Feed and Farm, Exton, Pennsylvania. Ashcombe Farm and Greenhouses, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Espen Shades Garden Centers and Greenhouse, Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with the #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
Are you looking to reach an audience of over 12 million residents in the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley, and New York City tri-state? Then consider becoming a broadcast sponsorship partner for Bloomers in the Garden. Every week on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, your products become associated with the authority in everything lawn, landscape, and garden. For more information on the Bloomers in the Garden Partnership Program, feel free to call the hotline 609-685-1880 or check out the radio tab at bloomers.com.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. So, it's winter.
Oh, it is. We know that.
It's cold, low light, right?
Yeah.
You've got your heat on.
Yeah.
Not conducive for growing tropical plants.
No, they're not.
Okay. So, I mean, plants start looking a little sad this time of the year. So if you've got your plants and they're not looking right, they're losing leaves, don't panic. Don't panic.
Yeah, really.
And I mean, don't panic by trying to care for them and over care for them. Like, don't water them constantly. One of the worst things is overwatering this time of the year.
That's it.
Humidity and watering are different. Okay. Well, you just bought a humidifier, you said.
I did.
How much was your humidifier?
$40.
$40.
Yep.
Okay.
It's good.
That's cheap.
Yeah, it is.
How big is it?
It's about foot.
So 12 by 12?
Nah, probably about 2 foot. 2 by 2.
Tall? What? Come on.
About 2 foot. About 2
This
foot.
is radio. You need to-
2 foot by 2 foot.
okay, they can't see that.
Oh, I know.
Unless you're on your YouTube channel. And then subscribe.
2 foot by 2 foot.
Okay.
How's that? All right.
So 2 foot by 2 foot. And that could be something you could nestle in amongst plants, right?
Sure.
How
you
big
could.
is the reservoir?
It'll hold a gallon.
It'll hold a gallon?
Yeah.
How long before the gallon is gone? And
Well,
can you change it like
Yes, you
high,
can.
low?
You can change it high, low. I put it on medium, about half hour.
That fast?
Yeah,
And it's
quick.
gone?
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
quick.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, but, 45
You
minutes.
must have that thing on
Yeah,
ultra high.
No, I don't.
Right?
It's on mid.
That's
It
crazy.
goes quick.
I don't
Easy.
know.
You may have a
Yeah.
leak. You may have a leak or
think?
something wrong with your tank.
It should, I mean,
Mine's last all day.
yeah.
For a gallon?
Yeah, for a gallon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
mine's-
Carl had one in his room, and it,
Really?
yeah.
Wow,
I only
then
have to
something-
fill it up once a day when I
Oh,
run, and I
no,
run it
do
all day.
I do it twice.
Okay.
all right.
I run mine on
well-
high.
Oh, you do? Oh.
Yeah.
And so why we're talking about humidifiers is that your plants will absolutely love that. So if you've got a collection of plants where if you put that in the middle of them, that humidity will get to them and help them in ways I can't even tell you how many ways. For one, it's not water through the roots that is gonna make the difference per se, but it's the humidity that evaporates or the moisture that evaporates through the leaves. The humidifier will calm that down and slow that process down.
Yeah.
So it'll make your watering more effective. But don't make the mistake so many people make. They go and they think that they're not watering enough, and they water their plants so much that it doesn't go dry and that it starts creating root rot and other issues. So don't overcare for your plants.
Right.
Okay. Yellow leaves. Get
Yep.
some yellow leaves that
Oh,
are falling
yeah.
off. Do you have yellow leaves? You're shaking your head. Yes.
Well, my neighbor, I go over there and I help her with her plants,
yeah. But
and she has that problem.
what does she got? What kind of plant is it? Can I ask?
It's like a pothos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my pothos is doing the same thing right now.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's starting to be bare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to cut it back. Yeah, but it's one of it
Needs
was
it?
on a totem, and it's just again it's a moisture and a sunlight issue
Yeah, it's it.
more than anything else.
yeah.
So there's nothing you can do about the sunlight right now. You can get lights for your house plants.
Yeah, we got those.
You know, I'm cheap. I don't want to do that. Yeah. If you have a dedication to your house plants, yes, do it.
Yeah. Carl would do that.
Yes. If you're growing cannabis, you do it. But I find that, you know, house plants, if you change a bulb, like say I have like recessed lights above the house plants that I have, and then I'll change that bulb before I'll hook up a fixture and everything else above it. And just change that bulb, you really don't notice the light being very different. So that's something to consider. Consider about changing the lights that are around that, rather than set up a whole fixture. Just replace the bulb in its natural light socket. Don't feed them. Houseplants are quasi-dormant. And they don't want to get pushed to grow. Don't feed them. Houseplants want to be dormant this time of the year. Because again, the sunlight controls most everything. And if you're someone who has to feed their plants, half strength water soluble fertilizer only, not even quarter strength. They don't need it. They don't need it. They're not absorbing it. They don't want it. They don't want to be pushed to grow. They just want to hang out and be dormant. It's kind of like how I feel right now. While Bloomers is on its winter age, I just want to hang out and be dormant.
And read.
I'm getting sick of the Price is Right, though. Anyway, watch for fungus gnats. Again, fungus gnats will all of a sudden appear. It's like, where did they come from? And that they just kind of hatched out of the soil that have been sitting there. They're kind of like they're a fungus gnat bomb. Like a seed bomb. Where all of a sudden they're a fungus gnat bomb. Here's a good one. Use leaf shine. Leaf shine protects against insects. It also what it has in it, it's actually an insecticide, and that there's different ones. Make sure that you're looking and that you're looking at what the active ingredients are, and that's something where I know that Bonide has one that we recommend, and it's just a great insecticide that you use as a leaf shine. It's organic, but again, it's going to prevent the moisture loss through the leaves, shine up your leaves and your plants. But it's also, again, it's made from an insecticide, which I find
that's great.
You know, and it's don't get all like weirded out that it's an insecticide like a something that's dangerous. It's not. Yeah. It's an organic. It's all organic. That's cool. So, what else, Julio? What else do you have for? What are you working with your neighbor about with her houseplants?
No, I just water it once a week, and she gets all upset. Oh,
why are you watering it?
Because
her houseplants.
She's 86.
Aren't you a nice man?
Well, right. And like I was saying, she got all upset. Oh, my plant is turning yellow. Blah, blah, blah. I said, relax.
Yeah,
they'll be all right.
And that's something. I guess this whole segment is about relax. It'll be okay. Yeah. Don't go crazy. There's a couple of things you can do, but just relax.
Yeah, they're dormant, and you go dormant too.
We'll be right back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Me and Julio.
Oh, wow.
Well, another show.
Another one.
Lots of information.
A lot of stuff.
Lots of information.
Goodness.
If you have any question about today's show or any question about your own plants, landscape, fruit trees, please give us a call. That number is 609-685-1880. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, please, and rate us on any podcast. 5 stars, please. See you in the garden.
See you in the garden.